everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have an unboxing. So, I caved. I got a new book box. This is Allurial, which is from the same company as Book of the Month. But this is going to be their romantasy selection. This is, I think, the third month. I was intrigued at month one. Didn't really see anything that I had to have. Month two was a little bit more not my speed as much. There was one author I was intrigued by, but I tried a different book by them last year that was not my favorite, so I didn't want to necessarily get a special edition. But I ended up picking two books this month. And so we're gonna go in and see what we have in here. Like I said, it is gonna be a subscription, sort of like Book of the Month, which I've never done, but a lot of people do, where they have these books that they have, and Book of the Month is more of here's some hardcover, I think mostly new releases, but not exactly special edition. They're supposed to be a little bit cheaper than maybe some normal other hardcovers. These ones are a little bit more like special editions. They come with sprayed edges, I think maybe some special things on the dust jacket or underneath the dust jacket, so that has a slightly higher price. They have had some deals where it's oh, for your first month you get a hat, or for your first month you get your main book cheaper than normal. I think my first book on here was cheaper, and then you can add a second book on for $20, which again is not too crazy for a hardcover. However, I think they did notify me that my new price point every month for one credit, one book a month is 26 something, which is a higher price point than Book of the Month, that kind of stuff. So I think it is because they're a little bit more special edition. But yeah, like I said, I caved this month. I saw a couple things in here that I was you know what? I'm actually very intrigued by the book and the premise and the tropes and things. Let's do it. And they do have the tropes and the spice level and things like that on their website when you're picking books out. Okay, so we are gonna open this up and see what we have in here. Okay, the first thing, so my month did come with a hat. They had three different designs. The colors were I think blue and green, which is the one I got, and I think there was a different one. I can't remember if it was red or gray or something like that, and each one had a different words, different phrases on them. I pulled up a picture. I will put it here so you guys can actually see. But the red one was enemies to lovers, which personally, red, not my color. Also, probably not the phrase I want on my hat. Was I have a secret, which I think one of the books this month, that was one of the tropes they had. So I really like the blue, but again, I wasn't too sure about the wording. So I did end up getting the green one, which I do feel this is a darker, richer green than in the pictures. And it says morally gray. Again, I don't know, as a mom, especially going out and doing things, did I really want morally gray on my hat? But I do feel this is something that is more in lots of books, not necessarily just romances, which I thought was good. I love morally gray characters personally, especially in fantasy and things like that as well. So we did do this. On the inside, it actually has the Allurial branding on the inside parts, which is intriguing. And so, yeah, it has this sort of clasp on it, and it looks like it also has Allurial on the back. It needs to be shaped a little bit. It definitely does not feel like it fits my head very well, and I think it's because of the way it was in the box. But otherwise, I mean, that's what we have going on. Should I leave it on my head? Is this gonna have too many shadows on my face? I don't know. But I do have two books in here, like I said. So it has a paper wrapping around it, which I actually do really appreciate, because then you can recycle it if you would like. And like I said, I picked two books. According to their website, these two books are still in stock. The third one, which I'm assuming is very popular because a lot of people were talking about it when things were being announced, is sold out. I did not get that one. I was intrigued, but not enough to be yes, let me get another $20 book that I don't know about. And I'm just gonna go in order of what is here. So the first one that I have is Vesselless by Courtney L. Wynn. This is one of those ones that I had never really heard of before, and I was intrigued by the premise of this. and also like the tropes and things that they have online. So for Vesselless, it says this one will be sold out soon. There's only a few left. The hot take, so this is what they show like on their website. The half-ghost rivals, deadly duels, and a slow burn that will haunt you long after the last page. The tropes are enemies to lovers, forbidden love, and slow burn. And this one is saying it's a 2 out of 3 on the spice scale. They have mild, which is 1 pepper, medium, which is 2 peppers, and wild, which is 3. This one is saying 2. And again, we are going to have some like really nice sprayed edges and things. Like that is why this feels more like a special edition compared to like Book of the Month, which I feel like is just like a cheaper hardcover. The back has a quote on there. It says, "I've seen monsters, Nazara, and you are not one of them. A little beast maybe, but not a monster." Interesting. And it does have the Allurial and monthly branding here. You guys probably saw it does have the like little logo here, as well as on the spine. I actually don't mind that. I think it's intriguing to have this like gold up there. I wonder if it's always going to be gold. I'm not entirely sure. Underneath the dust jacket, again, the Allurial branding. It's sort of like holographic actually, which is pretty nice. Our spine just looks like that. And again, they have that on the back. So pretty plain that way. And then it does have end papers. Again, I think it looks really, really cool. It's the same end papers front and back, which I'm perfectly fine with. I am a sucker for pretty books, and so the fact that we have like end papers and edges and things like that, like I'm just like, I'm a little bit of a sucker for it. This book does seem to be a little bit over 400 pages. The paper that it's printed on seems pretty nice. It actually is a pretty floppy hardcover as well. Like it opens pretty nicely, which is very, very good. And so again, we went through sort of like the little bits and pieces that you got on the website for this. And I think they let you read like the first chapter as well. So you do get to like look into things. Here on the inside of the front flap, an addictive enemies to lovers romance following the heir to a fantasy kingdom and the seductive spirit sent to claim her soul. Nazara, reluctant heir to the kingdom of Zar, has always been able to perceive spirits better than the average caster. When she enters a deadly tournament, that's one of my buzzwords right there. I love deadly tournaments. When she enters a deadly tournament to end her betrothal, she's determined to win without succumbing to the addictive spirit magic she channels or taking a life in the duel ring. But finding herself outmatched, Nazara must face her fear of power and team up with Dagon, an enemy who is half ghost and all charm, to survive the tournament. Dagon, the last king of Zar, was killed by Nazara's father 10 years ago. Now able to phase between his human and spirit forms, he is stuck in another realm, hunting wretched souls. When his keeper offers him a chance to reclaim his freedom in exchange for Nazara's soul, Dagon takes the deal. There's only one catch. She must give it to him freely by the tournament's end, or his own soul is forfeit. Yeah, again, I'm loving the idea of this. I love the sort of ghosty spirit vibes as well, especially since we're in October now. So even though I had not heard of this previously, I did pick it up. And then the other one I got is one that I actually had heard about semi-recently before this box, because I actually talked about it in my new releases for the end of the year as well, and that is going to be The Ordeals by Rachel Greenlaw. I'm now thinking this month also might have trials in it, just based on The Ordeals. I can't remember. So the hot take for this one on their website is a lush, twist-filled romantasy where illusions deceive, hearts race, and no one leaves unscathed. This is another enemies to lovers. There's going to be banter, and it says, "I have a secret." So that's where the hat came in. The spice scale on this one is going to be mild. I think the other one that sold out is Anathema by Carrie Lake. That one was also a mild. But yeah, so this is what the cover is going to look like. Again, very pretty. I think I like this cover a lot more than the other one. Just like the style of it. It looks really, really nice. Again, we are going to have some sprayed edges. I think I like the sprayed edges on the other one better though. Here's on like the bottom and the top and on the back. It says, "Old magic, new power, a contest to die for. The brave and bold are invited to prove their worth in the ordeals." And again, we're going to have all of our Allurial branding. Okay, let's go underneath. This one is more of a navy blue underneath, but again, Allurial branding with that holographic nature here. Here is the spine. and on the back. Like I said before, I don't mind the more plain hardcovers. I find it interesting the way they have the titles on the spine. It feels very small, but it's fine. Okay, and then underneath, ooh, this is very pretty. I love how shiny this is. So this is the end papers that we have. Again, gonna be the same on the other side as well. This one is a little under 400 pages, like 360 something. So yeah, putting our dust jacket back on here, we're gonna look at the flap as well. In this lush, atmospheric romantasy, an illusionist competes in a series of deadly trials for a spot at an elite magical college. That is, if another hopeful doesn't kill her first. 20-year-old Sophia de Winter has only known life bound to her cruel uncle, the Collector, thanks to a blood bond he exacted from her as a child. When she learns of Kilmarth College, an elite academy for magic wielders outside of the Collector's control, she knows it is her only chance to finally break free. But to gain entry, she will have to compete against other illusionists, maskiers, botanists, and alchemists in a series of brutal trials that many hopefuls don't survive. The Ordeals. Sophia knows her skills as an illusionist are weak. She only makes it through the first challenge by teaming up with a powerful and insufferably sexy botanist, Alden Locke. To make it out alive, she will have to hone her magic and learn to identify who is a rival, who could be an ally, and who is a murderer. Because now, not only does she have to protect her heart, but her very life. Hopefuls are being viciously picked off one by one between the challenges. In her haste to escape the Collector's trap, Sophia may have fled straight toward her own death sentence. Yeah, like I said, this is one that I already wanted. And again, we basically have like 2 sort of deadly magical trials here, which I'm in love with. So I'm hoping these are going to be good. I have so many books to read this month in October, but I do think I potentially want to try and at least fit one of these on there. Let me know if one of them piques your fancy more than the other. But yeah, overall, very happy with this. Very curious to see what kind of other things Allurial picks each month, because they do 3 sort of things each month, and they're all supposed to be this like romantasy sort of genre. So yeah, I'm happy with this, and we'll see how this goes. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so I will see you then. Bye!